Hello there, Capricorn. Welcome to my channel. I'm Mary Sue, and I am so thankful that you're here joining me today. So today I'm going to be doing your mid-April reading. This will be good from like April 15th to May 15th, within that timeline or so. We're going to take a look at the overall energies with the oracle cards. I've pulled them, but I haven't looked at them just to save time with shuffling. And then we'll take a look at the tarot to get more details about any obstacles you may have this month or any advice Spirit has for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Your very first card. Okay, this is your animal spirit. So this is kind of like what's going on underneath. So this is the raccoon. And the raccoon is known, its, major physical characteristic is the mask. So what it means is that you could be either wearing a mask or dealing with others that are wearing a mask. But for some of you, you might want to look at, are you wearing a mask? Are you telling some people in your life, in some situations, are you showing them a side of yourself that isn't your true authentic self? So for instance, say you go to work and you have a really happy, smile on your face and everything, and you act like your whole life is just fine, but, at home you're dealing with a lot of family issues. It's kind of like we wear a mask to self-preserve ourselves in social situations, especially. Sometimes we can wear the mask even with our family, but we're wearing the mask to help, us preserve our own heart, because we're afraid to be vulnerable with the people that we're with. So this is just Spirit asking you to look at, what are you trying to hide from other people? And it could be, I'm not saying that you go to work and you share all your family, issues or whatever. But sometimes it's really taking a look at, what are you just trying to hide from others? And because when you're hiding things from others, and especially those that you're really close with, you're not being truly vulnerable. And until you can be truly vulnerable, you can't have intimate connections with other people, whether that's in love relationships, family relationships, or friend relationships, right? And I mean, in some aspect, perhaps also co-workers, but really people that you're close to. And so Spirit's saying, it may be time to take a look at, what are you holding close to, your cards close to your chest, not really sharing with other people. And a lot of times this is an emotional pain, something that you may not have been ready to share with others up until this point, but maybe it's time to. Okay, so we'll be taking a look at that. Oh, so you have exposed and revealed. Okay, so this card has to do with shame. And, when we feel shame in any way, it's usually because of outside sources making us feel shame or guilt about something in our life. And it's kind of like a trigger. What we have to realize is that when we're feeling shame, we sometimes think that, whatever the situation is, that situation or that action or whatever, we kind of like put everything into a category of good and bad. And if we think something that we've done is bad, right, then we think we're bad. But that's not really true. And a lot of times the shame or the guilt that comes from outside sources prevents us from really looking at, a situation clearly. And this could be why you're wearing a mask, right? You may feel shame, but what Spirit wants you to know is that there's no reason to feel shame. Like every action that we take is really designed in a way, right? It doesn't matter what choices you make. In the end, it's all going to kind of like lead you to the lessons that you need to learn while you're here. So the other thing with this card is that if someone else shames you, okay, so they're trying to shame you into doing something, or shame you into feeling a certain way, or whatever, that you have to realize that that's coming from their fear or insecurities. And so to have compassion for that person doesn't mean that you have to accept the shame that they're trying to put on you. So this can be read in a couple of different ways. And so we'll look at the other cards, but it's kind of like, just kind of like exposing yourself and taking a look at what is it that you're trying to hide from others, and do you have shame about what it is that you're trying to hide. And the clear message here from Spirit is that do not feel shame. Like you haven't done anything wrong. Like you are good, because shame sometimes makes you feel like you're a bad person, but there is no bad, this is lovely. This is the light. This is sun. This is hope. This is abundance. This is you kind of like when you take this mask off and you realize that there's no reason for you to feel bad about whatever the situation is, or whatever you're feeling like you need to hide from others. That once you're vulnerable, once you take the mask off and you put it out there and you accept it for what it is, and you realize that you're not bad because of whatever this situation is, that you're going to step into your true light. You're going to shine. Abundance will come your way. It's kind of like by not taking off the mask, you're actually preventing true happiness and abundance from coming in. Really interesting. For some of you, this could be a conversation you need to have with someone. Yeah, to the sea. I think it was Cancer that also got this card. So the thing is that you can think of the ocean as your emotions, right? The ocean of emotions. And you're in this bathtub and, you're kind of safe. You're kind of like sitting on top of the water. But she's not even looking at her emotions, right? She's like reading a book. She's not even looking at the emotions. And that's kind of like wearing a mask, right? Like you may look at your emotions when you're alone and, private or whatever. You may look at it. But I think that you may be looking at it alone and you're feeling a little bit shamed, or guilty about it. But the truth of the matter is that when you get out of the bathtub and you jump into this ocean of emotions, you take off the mask and you're kind of vulnerable to, someone or a group of people that you're close to. When you do that, what happens is that you're going to immediately feel lighter. Does that make sense? You have the light card. You're going to feel lighter because I think that whatever this is that you're feeling, shame or guilt, the word here is shame. So whatever you're feeling shame about, that as soon as you jump into the bathtub and you go into the emotions of whatever this is, the pain of it, whatever this situation is, you take off the mask and you share it. You share your vulnerability with someone else or a group of people. What happens is you're immediately lifted. Like I feel that when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, the people around you are going to embrace you. Oh my gosh. Woman holding a heart. So this can be a couple of different things. If you're a male and, you're looking for a counterpart that's female, this can mean, a love relationship. But if you're a female, and I really feel like this card has a lot of feminine energy in it. If you're female, this card really talks about you loving yourself. Like once you take off the mask, and it's kind of like you don't feel shame or guilt for whatever it is that you're feeling shame or guilt about. And it could be something really little, I'll give you an instance. My daughter, she got a tattoo, and she didn't really like her tattoo. Let's put it that way. She really didn't like her tattoo. She kind of got talked into it. Let's put it that way. And she didn't really like her tattoo, and she kept covering it up. Like I didn't know she had the tattoo for a long time, right? And she kept wearing it was on her arm. She was wearing long sleeves. She was trying to cover it up with body makeup. She didn't like the tattoo. And then one day we went to the beach or something, and I got to see the tattoo and to learn about the tattoo. And I was actually fine with it. But there was something she didn't like about that tattoo. That tattoo stood for something she didn't like. It wasn't the fact that it was a tattoo. It was what the tattoo was. Okay? The image of the tattoo. And once she exposed it, I think she had a lot of shame and guilt about this tattoo, right? Once she exposed it to me and, we had a discussion about it, then she really kind of I think it kind of in that case, I was kind of like the mother, because this card can represent a mother, but it can represent yourself. Like she embraced the tattoo, and then she actually decided to have the tattoo removed, okay? And it really wasn't, again, because it was a tattoo. It was because of the image of the tattoo. And I think that it brought her a lot of shame and guilt. But once she took off her shirt or took off her mask and told me about the tattoo and the story behind the tattoo and everything, then it really kind of took her down a whole new path. I'm just going to say it just really did take her down a whole new path. And she really embraced herself and why she made that decision. So it could be, something as simple as a tattoo that you're kind of covering up. It could also be, a childhood wound. It could be a painful situation that somebody put you in, a breakup of a relationship, or, and because this can stand for mother, maybe the relationship that you have with a child, or the relationship you have with your mother, or something like that. It's something that you're vulnerable about and that you don't really share with others. But as soon as you do, you're actually going to be embraced by yourself. You're going to love yourself more because you're going to not have something that you're kind of hiding from everybody, right? And then at the same time, because of that, you're also going to be loved by others that are around you. In my instance, it was kind of like when I learned about the tattoo, I was like, well, why were you so worried about showing it to me? And it was kind of like she really was holding in a lot of shame about this tattoo, but it was really her putting that shame on herself, if that makes sense. And that's what we do. We take, information from other people and other situations in society, especially, this card is really talking about, if you're a lot on social media and you feel, you're feeling shame because, you don't have, the clothes that everybody else wears. Maybe you don't like the clothes that everybody else wears, and you have your own fashion style or your own kind of style of home that you like to live in, or car that you like to drive in. And it can be something simple like that, but actually it's leading to more painful emotions than you're willing to look at this time. And this is a call from Spirit to really take a look at that. And once again, it can be something that doesn't appear that important perhaps to other people, but it really is important to you for some reason. And by sharing this, it really does take you into a new path. Really interesting. So we're going to go to the tarot. Let's get some more details here. We have the past and present energy, obstacle for this month, advice from spirit, and then the final outcome if you take the advice. But remember, you have free will, and this is a general reading. So if the message here isn't resonating with you, Capricorn, you can go ahead and, take a look at your rising moon and Venus signs. There might be a message there for you. And if you're enjoying this reading, I really would appreciate it if you would like, share, or subscribe. It really does help to build my channel and get my message of light and love out there. So in the past, you have the Four of Cups. This is kind of the ho-hum energy. Like, is anything great going to come along? Like, you maybe have been looking at your life like, yeah, everything's fine, but nothing's great. Am I ever going to have anything great come into my life? That kind of like ho-hum type of energy. Not super excited about anything, like life's okay, but nothing's great. So your present energy, wow, you're going to the Four of Wands. So lots of fours here. Oh my goodness. And look at this. This card is the 44, right? And 4 stands for, foundations, building a strong, firm foundation for yourself. This, indicates to me with the vibe of the reading so far is that building a firm foundation of self-love and self-worth will help to bring in, so much more abundance and joy. Really nice. So this is you celebrating. And I really think it's like you, celebrating, the life that you're kind of building for yourself. But it's definitely kind of a celebratory building, something new for yourself, getting inspired. Your obstacle is the Empress. Okay, now it's kind of interesting because both of these cards have a mother energy to them. So you can be the mother figure, or you could be dealing with a mother figure. And it doesn't have to actually be like, natural mother, but it could be, kind of that energy of one person in your life being kind of the mother energy for you, or you could be the mother energy for somebody else. But the Empress energy is somebody that loves herself, that loves, the world she's creating for herself. And it could actually, be you birthing a new idea, a new project, a new life for yourself. It could be birthing an actual baby, But this is your obstacle, meaning that you're not embracing your Empress energy because it is in your obstacle. It means you do have the Empress energy. You're just not tapping into it. You're not tapping into all that you have to offer the world, all that you are. Really nice. Okay, and okay, we'll go on. See what shows up here. Okay, so your advice from spirit, and then we're going to go back and clarify all these too. The Sun in reverse. So, this is you not having hope for the future. So we're definitely going to clarify this because you do have the Light card here. It's like it's kind of a call that you don't see the sun, the light that you are in the world. And we're going to definitely clarify that because that's in your advice. And then your end is the Page of Pentacles. You're learning a lesson here. You're learning something new that's going to take you onto either a new path or onto, into a new direction, like a new understanding of who you are and how you fit in the world. It's kind of like she's holding that pentacle there, but it's kind of almost like the world. It's coming back to this Empress energy for me. you know, that she has the pentacle here and the world here. Like, I'm getting this energy that you're going to understand how you, see how she's holding it, how you fit in the world. Part of your shame could be that you feel like you don't fit in the world. I can understand that. Sometimes I have that, right? Like, you may feel like I don't fit in the world. Something like that. Wow, these are popping out. Okay, so we're going to clarify these. So we're going to clarify the Four of Cups. What can you tell us about the Four of Cups here? Interesting. On the bottom, Five of Wands, conflict. Queen of Wands and Justice and the Six of Pentacles. Nice to see. Okay, so there has been some conflict, but it could be conflict that you're creating in your own mindset because you have the Queen of Wands. You have this fiery passion for life, this fiery zest inside of you, but you're kind of like holding it back. You're conflicted with what it is that you'd really like to do. And you want more balance in your life because you have the Justice card and the Six of Pentacles. Really nice. Okay, but to clarify this Four of Cups, you have this Emperor energy, which is kind of interesting because you have the Empress as your obstacle. So it's kind of like there could be somebody in your life that is or was, you know, like a life partner. And, you know, this is in your past. So this Emperor energy is in your past. And you have the Queen of Swords. Like, you're getting clarity about this Emperor. This is you standing in your power of how this Emperor played in your life. And this Emperor brought you a lot of anxiety. And this is the Five of Pentacles. You feel abandoned, alone by this Emperor and this energy, but you're seeing it clearly for what it is. And right now, you're kind of feeling like, yeah, I don't know exactly where I'm going to go. Like, she's kind of like, she has these 3 spilt cups over here. And it's like, yeah. See how there is kind of like, you know, they're all in a line right here, which is a little different in this deck. They're all kind of like stacked. It's kind of like you're stacking all of the things that have, all of the cups that have spilled, all the empty cups. It's kind of like you're stacking them and kind of like concentrating on them. But what you don't realize is that she actually has her hand touching this full cup that is being offered to you by the universe. But like, you don't realize that it's there, right? So there's, you know, what the universe wants you to know is that there is something coming in for you. You're feeling like, will it ever come? But look at, she has her hand actually touching it. It's like, they just said, you know what's going to make you happy. You just have to choose to go get it. You may be concentrating on the pain and the abandonment that this Emperor provided for you, but you're getting the clarity about how to move forward. You're getting the clarity. I love the fact that, you know, she has her sword up. It's kind of like, I'm cutting all of that out. Like, I'm cutting that Emperor out. I'm cutting all the pain, the agony, the anxiety, the feelings of abandonment, right? I'm cutting it all out. And when you get this clarity and combine that with taking off your mask and being really vulnerable and looking at the emotions of why this was maybe so painful, right? When you get to that place, look at what you have coming next. You're celebrating. You're going to be celebrating something really wonderful, right? It's kind of like, okay. And, you know, I think it's interesting because in this card, there's like, you know, 2 people kind of like dancing and celebrating together. it's kind of like you're going to be celebrating with others. Once you are willing to be vulnerable. Once again, taking off that mask. Oh, yes. So we have the Devil card, the Tower card, the Five of Wands, the Queen of Wands. And on the bottom, we have the King of Swords, Transformation, Hierophant, Ten of... Yes. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so you have what is going on. You're like, it's time to celebrate. But what's holding you back is that you are being attached. The Devil stands for being attached to something. You're attached to this Tower moment that happened in the past. You're attached to it. Like you're not letting it go, right? And it's causing you a lot of conflict. You're kind of like being attached to the conflict in your life. Attached to the Tower, attached to what all of that means. But what you don't understand is that it's time for you to celebrate just how fiery and passionate you are about life, like stepping into this Queen of Wands energy. The Queen of Wands is like, the fiery life of the party, creative, adventurous, ready to go out there and see what she can do in the world. It's kind of like I'm taking off, my mask. I'm taking it off and I'm stepping into this fiery, and I'm putting down the shame and the guilt. Like, you don't like it? That's fine. Guess what? I got my sword. I'm cutting out anybody that doesn't like what it is that I want to do. Like, I'm going to do it because I love myself. And I'm going to step into that power. I'm going to step into my Empress energy, right? Okay, so let's take a look at your obstacle here and clarify this Empress. So we have the Ace of Cups, the Moon, the Page of Swords in reverse. Because that flipped around. I'm going to take one more. Temperance. On the bottom, Ace of Pentacles. This is an offer. This is a gift. Nine of Cups. The World. You are a Three of Cups. Celebration. You are on the verge of something beautiful. You're on the verge of something beautiful. What you have here is that there's some, the Moon card stands for secrets. And it could be going back to this mask, like hiding some secrets, even maybe from yourself, like not willing to jump out of that bathtub and into the ocean of emotions, right? Like you're kind of like holding back. This is, to me, I'm reading this as holding yourself back. And the Page of Swords, same thing. It's kind of like, this is communication, information. You're not communicating. You're not communicating something to someone or a group of people. You're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable and exposed to someone or something. But look at this. You have the Ace of Cups and Temperance, which is kind of like, you have the two cups and kind of like, balancing between like the old and the new, right? Like balancing between two things that you're going back and forth with and taking your time, right? And loving it, like loving your journey and to step into your Empress energy. So, because this isn't your obstacle, part of the thing that you need to do is to be able to be more patient, maybe with yourself, and stepping into your Empress energy and loving the journey of, where you've been, where you're going to. I know I'm a Gemini and I am very impatient, and like I get the temperance card and I'm like, no, I don't want to be patient. But sometimes we have to realize, you know, that sometimes things just take a while. And with the temperance card, this is divine timing too. Like things just may not be lined up right now for this to come in. Really nice. Okay, so for the Sun in reverse in your advice, we have the Ace of Wands, the Two of Cups, the Seven of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles. So you're getting the Page of Pentacles, and look at what you have on the bottom, the Four of Wands, which you had in your present energy, right? The Four of Wands, the Seven of Wands, the Ten of Swords, the Queen of Cups transformation. So underneath, and this is kind of like what's really going on underneath all of the surface stuff, is that you really do want a strong foundation. You really do want maybe a life partner. You know, this is kind of like the wedding card too. Starting a new adventure. Getting on top of all of the pain that you've been through. And really stepping into your Queen of Cups energy. Loving yourself. You know, and once again, the Queen of Cups in this deck, she has the child there. So I do feel like for some of you, you know, it's kind of like that mother-daughter relationship again. But it's kind of like, you know, just loving yourself, loving everybody in your life. And this is bringing you a true transformation and the Hierophant card. Really lovely. So the Hierophant is, you know, a symbol of true, you know, healing, of understanding, of accepting your belief systems, changing them to meet your, you know, our belief systems kind of change as we evolve through our life. So I think what we have here is that you're getting some type of information from the universe that you have more options than you think that you do. The Seven of Cups is looking at all the different options. But one of those options is love. Right? Like you may not feel like this is on your path, but it is. This Two of Cups can also be some type of partner that's like a true friend, or it could be you even stepping into you loving you. Two of Cups is the realization of seeing eye to eye with somebody and being, you know, really vulnerable, taking off the mask and being really vulnerable with this person. And this is going to inspire you to start something new, to go kind of like on a new path, adventure, career, relationship, like something new and exciting, because it's the wand energy. And they're telling me, you know, once again, you have the Queen of Wands in your present energy. It's there. It's you finally understanding, hey, I'm going to go get this. Because I'm tired of not having what I really want in life, right? It's kind of like going back to this Four of Cups. I'm just going to accept what I have. I'm just going to sit in this ho-hum type of life. I'm just going to accept what I have. But underneath, if you were to take off that mask and jump into the ocean of emotions, there's you wanting something so much better. But you may not feel like you're worthy of it yet, right? Because you have this shame about something. But to go back to my story of my daughter with the tattoo, it's time to kind of like take your shirt off, show the tattoo. And I'm not saying you have to show it to everybody, but maybe there's one person or a small group of people, your family or something like that, that you need to share whatever this is, like kind of be vulnerable. And you know, it's like sharing like how painful a situation may have been, or, you know, I know my son said we kind of had like this family nickname for him, and we always thought it was endearing. And finally one day he was like, you know what, I'm tired of that nickname. It's like, I really don't like that nickname. I've just been kind of putting on a happy face, right? All these years and going along with it. Well, I'm done. I'm done with it, right? It's kind of like the Queen of Swords. I'm done with that. And it was kind of like, okay, like we didn't realize that it was, so painful. But once he explained to us, yeah, it's painful and I don't want to hear it again, it was like, fine. Sorry, we're very sorry. And we all moved on. So it's kind of like, it could be something that is painful to you, but the people around you don't realize it. Okay, so with the Page of Pentacles, we have the Six of Pentacles. Very nice. Balance. Oh, Six of Wands. Nine of Wands. Four of Cups. High Priestess. Wow. Hanged Man. Four of Swords. Six of Cups. Wow. This is really nice energy because what you have here, this is your underneath. It's you having to listen to your intuition and realizing that you have the wisdom, but once again, that this may take time. The Hanged Man is that waiting again, right? Then it may take some time to heal from something in the past, right? It may just take a little bit more time. Like you may, I don't have anything here that's showing that you're rushing. Your shame might be that you feel like you may have had a very painful situation in the past and people are kind of like, aren't you over that yet? You're kind of like, no. And your shame could actually be like, I should be over this. But you're not over it. And it's kind of like, maybe saying to the people in your life, I'm really not over that. I need some more time to get over this. Like, please don't tell me, aren't you over this yet? It could be something like that because you're going to get some kind of information. You're going to learn something new about yourself as you're going through this. And that may take time, right? And once again, you're kind of like looking at your options, but you don't realize the universe has something really, really spectacular for you. It's right in the wings. It's right in the wings. You are kind of blocking it in a way because you're kind of like building up all these boundaries. And it's because your heart was hurt, where something painful happened, a true disappointment. And so we do that when we're really disappointed. We kind of like build a wall around ourselves. But this is maybe going to take time for you to move into, look at what you have here. This is beautiful. Six of Pentacles, really balanced, financial security, having more than you need so that you can give to others. And then the Six of Wands, victory. You're going to have victory over all of this situation. And, stepping into this love for yourself and being able to be vulnerable. That message is really coming through, is that you need to be able to be vulnerable with someone or some people so that they can see just how painful something was and maybe why it's, taking you so long to get through this. I feel like when you have this conversation, it's going to help you to move on really quickly. So, we have a compromise card. So this is mutual understanding, flexibility, give and take brings rewards. So it may mean that you have to have a conversation with somebody and then compromise about a situation. And that will help you to move on into this, step into split energy, options, unfocused, multitasking, decide what you really want. Yeah, so, stepping into that power of deciding what it is that you really want and then going for it. Really interesting. I think you're holding back. You're resisting that because in order to move on, you have to admit something to someone or something. And then you have fall. So your answers will arrive in autumn. So it could be, once again, you did have that, the energy of having to wait, right? You had the Hanged Man, you had the Temperance card, that this is going to take some time. You may not have all the answers right away, and to kind of like enjoy the journey. They're bringing me back to this. Like, she's very peaceful in that bathtub, right? It may be time to jump into the ocean, but she's peaceful in it. She's tranquil, enjoying the journey, right? Reading her book on her bathtub cruise ship. Okay, so let's pull a love oracle card for you. And Capricorn, once again, if you are enjoying this reading, I'd really appreciate it if you would like, share, or subscribe. Okay, so you have this card. Beautiful. Friendship. Nurture the bonds of friendship within your relationship, and your love life will dramatically improve. Really nice. So this could be, somebody that you're kind of like friends with, that it could maybe move into a romantic relationship once you kind of like show your true authentic self. You take the mask off, there's, share something, and then, it kind of like opens up the door to romance. And it also could be, something like someone that you're, good friends with, like opening up what you're afraid of, or, feeling shame about. Opening that up to perhaps a friend helps you to realize that it's not that big of a deal, right? Like my daughter's tattoo. I was like, okay, it's a tattoo, It was a bigger deal to her. That's what I had to realize, right? And she had to not only share the tattoo, but why she didn't like the tattoo. And when she did, like it kind of like opened up a whole different kind of, world for her. And I think that that's what this is saying. You, by taking off your mask, either with a friend or someone in your life that you're a friend with, that could possibly move into a romantic love situation. It really is going to open up some new avenues for you. And it's going to help bring you a lot of feeling of self-love, self-worth. Which once you step into that power, right, Capricorn, then you get victory in so many different areas of your life. And you'll truly shine. Your light will shine. Yeah, you're just holding back your light. Okay, so let's have a love oracle card. Self-criticism. And that really goes back to this, right? Like, you're criticizing yourself about something that others may really not be judging you about. Self-criticism. We, your angels, ask you to please be more compassionate towards yourself. Observe the times when you have critical thoughts about you, and make an effort to replace these negative thoughts with positive, loving ones. You are a wondrous being of light, even if at times you think you are less than perfect. Remember that God and divine perfection exists in all things. Yeah, that's a beautiful message for this. Beautiful, beautiful message. That, don't be so hard on yourself. Understand that, others may have put this shame onto you, but you don't have to accept it. And to step into loving yourself. Understanding just how wonderful a person you are, Capricorn, because you are. Loving yourself, knowing your worth. And by doing that, you will attract the love and, abundance that you really want in your life, because it'll help you to shine your light. Well, very nice. I'm going to leave it at that, Capricorn. And I do wish you lots of love and light in this situation and all your situations. Bye for now.